I thought I was going to be late. I'm just in time. Welcome, everyone. Woo! We are going to have such a great night tonight. And I so appreciate you being here. I'm Sig Hutchinson, Chair of the Wake County Commission, and on behalf of commissioners in Wake County, we want to welcome you to the 2022 State of the County address. Now, let's start by talking about this amazing place that you're in. And could y'all turn the mic down just a bit? What, turn it up? Hold it like that? Okay, good. The North Carolina Museum of Art. Isn't this amazing? Well, yeah, let's give it up. Well, a huge shout out needs to go to Valerie Hillings, the executive director, in that what you're looking at here is the News People's collection of the museum. It just opened this week, and so I really encourage you to, well, it looks like it's pretty shut down, but come back because you'll be absolutely amazed. And there's a fun fact about this building that I'll tell you during the question and answer part of our show, so don't go anywhere. We have an incredible evening set out for you. We're going to paint a picture of the future of Wake County. We're going to celebrate the past, we're going to talk about the present, and then we're going to paint a picture of the future. There's so many people to thank, but I want to give a huge shout out before we start to the communications team that put all of this together, right? So Dara and Ellen and Todd and Patrick and Sarah, thank you so much for trying to make me look good. I'm not sure you did it, but I'm having so much fun. All right, we're going to start our show tonight with three amazing leaders. You know these folks very, very well, and it is such an honor and privilege to be able to bring them to the stage to talk about the amazing thing that's going on in their part of the world. First, Catty Moore, our superintendent of our incredible Wake County public school system. Can we give it up? Superintendent Moore has 200 schools, 20,000 employees, almost 200,000 kids, the 15th largest public school system in the country today. And on top of that, truly award-winning. I'm sure you saw in the paper that the magnet program won the national award as the best magnet school in the country today. Did you catch that? Superintendent Moore also won the Magnet School Superintendent of the Year. You may not know that, right? You may also not know that she can spin a basketball on one finger. Did anybody bring a basketball? No? All right. So we look forward to hearing you just a minute, Superintendent. Next up, the most incredible community college system in the country today, Wake Tech. Can we give it up for Wake Tech? Now, we all know Dr. Ralls is everywhere. And before he was here, he ran the whole state as the president of the State Association of County Commissioners. But you like it here best, right, Dr. Ralls? Absolutely, yeah. So, and one of the things we can say about Dr. Ralls is he's been to all 100 counties here in North Carolina. Give it up for Dr. Scott Ralls. And then finally, an incredible CEO who I actually grew up with, I feel like, yeah. For 25 years, Adrian Cole and I have been working throughout the chamber. She started with Michael Haley's job in economic development, doing an incredible job there, worked her way through, worked with Jeff Merritt, over the chamber. There we are, and now she's running the show. And what a show she's running. The best economic development best economic development team in the country today. Please give it up for Adrian Cole. So ladies and gentlemen and good friends, let's kick our show off welcoming to our podium Superintendent Catty Moore. Cathy.
And just to put a little something to rest, if you speak Spanish, it's Catty. If you speak English, it's Cathy. Same name. All right. Thank you. Good evening and welcome. The theme of tonight's event is painting a picture of our future. It's a fitting theme because preparing for the future is what nearly 20,000 colleagues in the Wake County Public School System and I do every day. Our community has over 11,000 public school educators on the front lines, challenging and engaging about 160,000 students every day in relevant, rigorous, and meaningful instruction. To put that in context, we are responsible for preparing over 75% of the community's children to thrive in the future that we see before us. And we take that responsibility, preparing your children to reach their full potential and lead productive lives in this complex and changing world, very seriously. They are our future business leaders, entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers, farmers, educators, artists, and any other profession that you can think of. We are incredibly proud of the great success that we have here and the excellent public education that we provide in Wake County. We enjoy great success, including schools and individuals that have been recognized statewide and nationally, and I'd like to highlight just a few of those successes. For 16 consecutive years, we have led the nation in the number of educators earning national board certification. That is the gold standard for professionalism in teaching. About half of our teachers hold master's degrees, with a number of those also holding doctorates. 45 of our magnet schools were awarded national recognition as schools of excellence and schools of distinction. Numerous award winnings with the principals and schools there as well. And with our magnets, in fact, just last week, you may have seen that we were awarded a $13.5 million grant from the U.S. Department of Education to expand our magnet schools, adding design thinking and innovative curriculum at 4 of our schools. 4 of our high schools, Wake STEM, Panther Creek, Green Hope, and Enloe, are regularly ranked as the top schools in the state and the nation. One of our teachers, Ms. Victoria Lightfoot, was awarded the prestigious Milken Educator Award this year. You see that $25,000 check is for her personal use. It's the Oscars of teaching. Just last week, Weatherstone Elementary was named a 2022 National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education, marking it as a national model of effective school practices. Our students' achievements are too numerous to count. A few facts. According to published data, they regularly outperform their counterparts on SAT scores. They score higher than the national average on their AP exams. Our district's academic proficiency rate puts us in the top 10% of North Carolina public school districts. Our 4-year graduation rate has risen to about 90%, which is up nearly 10 percentage points since 2012, a rate that is higher than the national average. They are our future. Several years ago, many of you contributed to the creation of our strategic plan, Vision 2020. Your input informed the following mission statement. The Wake County Public School System will provide a relevant and engaging education and graduate students who are collaborative, creative, effective communicators, and critical thinkers. Business leaders, community colleges, all manner of folks in the stakeholder groups shared that these skills, which we fondly call the 4 Cs, are essential for their employees to be successful in the workplace. Our Board of Education approved an updated strategic plan framework just last week. As a part of this work, board members identified some revised strategic priorities within that framework that include student knowledge and skills, excellence in reading, mathematics, science, social studies, digital knowledge, financial literacy. Another strategic priority, student dispositions and well-being, which includes a focus on behavioral health. and operational effectiveness, which includes a focus on effective operations, services, and facilities. What I call making sure that people can get their questions answered and problems solved. In addition, in partnership with the Chamber and the county this fall, we are sharing information about our upcoming school building program. The upcoming Wake County ballot will include a proposal for a $530 million school bond that will address our school's critical safety and maintenance needs. Our children, our communities, deserve the most effective learning environments possible. Many of our schools were built more than 30 years ago during our county's boom period. These schools are showing their age, and they do require significant renovations and updates. The bond will help fund the rebuilding of 7 existing schools, significant repairs to schools like roofs, HVAC, plumbing, replacements for equipment that has aged out, like classroom furniture, student and staff devices, and security upgrades for all of our schools, and the construction of 5 new schools on new sites. Our community has long recognized the critical need for a strong public school system if we want to excel academically and economically. Investing in our students and those who care for them is essential for our community's future. And each one of you plays a role, an instrumental role, in that work. So on behalf of the students, the children, the families in our community, I want to thank you for demonstrating that shared belief that a community thrives and benefits from investing in a strong public school system. We are grateful for your enduring support. On that note, I'd like to introduce a fellow lifelong educator and one of our strongest partners in this work, really a collaborator extraordinaire, Dr. Scott Ralls, president of Wake Technical Community College.
Thank you, Cathy. You know, the future is a connected future, and today in Wake County, the future is one of remarkable technologies, connected technologies, and that future is very much today at Wake Tech. Now, I'm going to note it's ironic that Cathy was up here operating a computer, and I'm going to work off paper notes while I do this. But you know, at Wake Tech, it's a future of advanced mobility seen at our new Hendricks Center of Automotive Excellence, where automotive students are connected to the latest advances in electric vehicles. It's a future of new energy technologies seen at our new Center for Building Technologies, where electrical students are connected to alternative energy such as solar and the connections between automated building controls and advanced information technologies. And connected technologies will be at the heart of our new Eastern 4.0 site in Wendell, where the integration of robotics, electronics, facilities maintenance, mechatronics, biopharma production all come together in a National Science Foundation supported curriculum, producing a new generation of super techs. The future is one of connected, seamless education. And that future can be seen today at Wake Tech and with our great partners. This fall, Wake County High School students at the new Wake Early College of Information and Biotechnologies, located on our RTP campus, are being introduced to the fields of cybersecurity, computer programming, network management, and biotechnology. And thanks to new university partnerships, they and our other students can be connected to not only community college degrees, but bachelor degree completions, all in that same location. It's a future where learning is connected to earning, and that future is very much today at Wake Tech. Thanks to the county's support of the Wake Works Apprenticeship Program, apprenticeship opportunities are growing faster at Wake Tech than perhaps any other college in the country. Just as an example, today at our Hendricks Center, there are 269 automotive tech students, more than double than just 2 years ago, and 74 are learning and earning as apprentices. And learn and earn opportunities are not just limited to technical education students at Wake Tech. Today at Wake Tech, 55 students participate in a START program with paid, mentored internships at science laboratories throughout the region, connecting them to one of the most concentrated STEM labor markets in the country. The future of education is a future of simulation technologies. And that future is today at Wake Tech, where over 500 students in game development and simulation create simulations using advanced technologies like photogrammetry. And very soon, law enforcement and first responders will experience the latest in simulated emergency reenactments at our new public safety simulation complex at our new Eastern Campus. And as our county grows both larger and older, healthcare education becomes even more important. And that's why we're planning for the creation of a new simulated hospital at our Perry Health Science Campus that will replicate the real-world healthcare environments that the healthcare professionals that are educated through Wake Tech will experience. And the future is one where growth is distributed and people are connected to employment opportunities, workforce-relevant education, and economic prosperity, regardless of where they reside in our county. Now, that's increasingly going to be seen throughout Wake County, with Wake Tech contributing. It'll be seen in Wendell and Knightdale and Zebulon, North Carolina's fastest growing municipalities, and also the home of our new Eastern Wake 4.0 site, which is coming out of the ground. It's going to be seen in Holly Springs, America's newest biopharma hub, and Apex, one of the fastest growing cities with more than 50,000 people in the country, where we just purchased land to relocate our new Western campus and create a new workforce development center. And for those pursuing online education, wherever they reside, last year Newsweek ranked Wake Tech one of the top 150 online colleges and universities in America. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, our future at Wake Tech is to reach into all communities that comprise our county to provide opportunity for all through partnerships and programs, partnerships like our great partnership with Wake County Public Schools, and others like Communities in Schools, Juntos, the Southeast Raleigh Y, and our municipal launch entrepreneurship partners. And thanks to the Wake County Commissioners and the residents of Wake County, thanks to your support, Wake Technical Community College, your community's college, is a ladder to the future opportunity in Wake County. And now it's my great privilege to introduce a great friend and colleague, the president and CEO of the Greater Raleigh Chamber of Commerce, Adrian Cole.
Sig's water bottle. Trip over it. I am so excited to be with all of you this afternoon, this evening. Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations to those Wake County folks who organized this, Ella and Dara and the team. So I was told that I could share a few things to brag about a little bit. So I'm gonna do that and also talk about what we see coming in the future. I think you'll hear a theme, though. You've heard it echoed in Cathy's remarks and in Scott's remarks of the value and the importance of partnership and how that makes this area truly, truly unique. So we have had an incredible year in economic development. CNBC named North Carolina America's top state for business. Through the partnerships that we enjoy with Wake County, with our 12 municipal partners, with Wake Tech, with universities and college partners, with Wake County Public Schools, with the nonprofit community, with our business leaders, since the beginning of our 5-year economic development strategy with Wake County Economic Development, we're entering the 4th year of that. We've already announced 8,900 new jobs and over $4 billion in capital investment in Wake County. This year alone, we've seen 117 new economic development projects, over 1,500 high-quality jobs, and $126 million in investment. Some of these companies, you've heard these names, were Ineos, their automotive North American headquarters in Raleigh, Protolabs expansion in Cary, Science 37's growing in Morrisville, CLL expanding in Fuquay-Varina, Blue Force Technologies selecting Wake Forest for their new advanced manufacturing facility, and MetLife's expansion in Cary. And I will tell you, none of these happen without partnerships. I think Scott might be the first person we reach out to anytime we get an RFP or an RFI, and he and his team are quick to say, what do we need to do to make this happen for Wake County? We've embarked on a new site identification study. We want each of our municipalities in Wake County to have sites ready to go so that they can compete effectively for the next Apple, Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnology, Sarah, or a chip manufacturer or semiconductor facility interested in calling Wake County home. We're focused on headquarters recruitment, and we always are focused on helping our existing companies grow and thrive. Those of you who have worked with me for a long time have heard me say many times that we do everything from potholes to headquarters, and we are sincere about that. Talent is at the heart of everything that we do. It's why Cathy and Scott were up on the stage tonight. We really can't go anywhere with economic development and with the economy forward without the incredible talent of the market. We relaunched our Work in the Triangle talent recruitment campaign this past year. It's workinthetriangle.com if you want to visit it. It's a new interactive website. It also has an accompanying digital marketing strategy that's targeting 20 cities across the country to recruit talent into the market, while we also work with our partners to grow talent, and provides resources for existing industries as they seek to fill key positions. The Chamber assisted over 1,200 small and micro businesses through our work. This includes Triangle Small Business Week, connections through Black Business Momentum and our We Connect series and our Triangle DEI Alliance, programs specific to supporting small businesses, and partnerships with Wake Tech, the Launch Raleigh program, Innovate Raleigh, and other partners in the small business ecosystem. The small business picture is bright in North Carolina. In 2020, the state announced 178,000 new small business starts, and I happened to be with Secretary of State Elaine Marshall yesterday, and she said that they are well north of 200,000 this year, and that's climbing. Wake County alone saw over 23,000 new business filings in 2021, and we are on pace to exceed that again this year. 83.5% of businesses in Wake County are small businesses with fewer than 20 employees. So we strive each and every day to work with our smallest businesses and our largest employers in Wake County. We are continuing our focus on growing future leaders with over 2,500 participants in our programs such as Leadership Raleigh, Emerging Leaders, our Young Professionals Network, our Women's Leadership programs, and we're excited to work with the county as we move toward a scholarship program to make Leadership Raleigh accessible to business leaders in the community that maybe had not been able to take advantage of that before. Our Triangle Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity Alliance, which is a partnership or program of the Chamber in partnership with Wake County, the City of Raleigh, and other corporate leaders, is moving into the implementation phase of our blueprint to dismantle systemic racism, focusing on health, care equity, education, economic mobility, and criminal justice. And my partners here participated in the creation of that blueprint. We also hosted over 1,300 people at our 5th annual DEI conference, arming small and large businesses alike with tangible actions that they can take to improve DEI in their businesses. Transit and transportation is key to our economic development success, and our Regional Transportation Alliance, in partnership again, you hear the theme here, with Wake, Durham, Orange, surrounding counties, municipalities, and transportation organizations with whom we partner, is driving toward a more connected future that includes all of our residents and serves the business community as well. With the announcement recently that 540 will be completed, Joe Malazzo, who leads the Regional Transportation Alliance, after we commented that it had taken 15 years, said, that was a really fast success. So transportation you got to stick with. We are excited to launch the new Business Sustainability Roundtable with North Carolina State University as we work to help support companies as they are working in the space of ESG, so environment, social, and governance, and looking to improve their sustainability outcomes. Looking ahead, we are not slowing down. This is an ascending market, and that ascension is accelerating. The Raleigh Metro has been recognized as having the #2 best tech talent pool in the nation, #4 U.S. biopharma market, and #8 best global life science ecosystem. We remain one of the fastest growing communities in the United States. Business Facilities noted that the Metro was the #10th fastest growing MSA in the country. We're anticipating to grow by 70% in the next 30 years. The Richmond Federal Reserve Chairman Tom Barkin, who was in town last week, recently called the market a shining star in the U.S. From an economic development perspective, we will continue to be focused on life sciences, technology, advanced manufacturing, and supporting our existing companies. This doesn't happen by accident. We can't be complacent, and we have to continue making key investments. So I urge all of you to vote yes for the 3 bonds that will be on the ballot in November: for Wake County Public Schools, that Cathy mentioned, for Wake Tech Community College to continue to support all the great work of Dr. Ralls and his team, and for Raleigh Parks. Great communities have great schools, they have great parks, and they invest in their people and their community. So it's an honor and a privilege to be with you today. To do this requires the commitment of many of the partners in the room, I would argue all of you, working together in a collaborative way based on trust with a shared commitment to this community and this region. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you.
Thank you, Adrian. Wasn't that incredible? It really was. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and as great as we are as a community, it all starts with leadership. You know, Superintendent Moore, I love to hear about the achievements that our kids are reaching every day, and that is just so heartwarming to hear that our kids are doing so well, because they truly are our future. And Dr. Ralls, the partnerships that you create at Wake Tech, it just expands the entire triangle, you know, from the Wake County Public School System to Durham Tech to Wake Med, to NC State and Shaw University. Those partnerships are just truly, truly amazing and generating fruit every day. And then Adrian Cole, the things that you do to make us the best place to live in America and attract these companies proactively, like going after the headquarters or make site-ready locations, truly is what makes us so great. Let's give it up for them one more time for all they do to make our community so well. But in addition to those great leaders, we also have amazing leaders in our Wake County commissioners. These folks are the most diverse commissioners that you've ever had in Wake County, and every one of them is truly a leader and truly unique. One of the things that I love about our commissioners is the diversity of all of their strengths and talents, and each one seems to take a specific area of a focus that you'll be hearing about tonight. But you know, we as commissioners, in many ways set the agenda, but we know where the real work starts. The real work starts with the 4,500 employees and a $1.7 billion budget, of which I believe is the best employer in Wake County today. And that organization is led by our manager, Mr. David Ellis, but don't give it up yet, because he's got a whole host of managers all the way down through the Wake County employees that are working every day to make your life better. So at this point, Manager Ellis, I'd like for you and all of your managers and all the folks that work for Wake County to please stand up, and let's give them a rousing applause. Woo! Thank y'all. Y'all are the best. Truly the best. Truly the best. You know, I believe this commission over a number of years has transformed Wake County in so many positive ways. And we could talk for the next 4 or 5 hours about all the things that have been done, but don't worry, we're not. But what we have done is allowed our commissioners to pick an area of focus that they are specifically interested in and put it on the screen tonight to give you just a taste of what this year has been. So, okay, Todd, roll the tape.
I'm Vice Chair Shanika Thomas, and I'm excited about the work Wake County is doing to make our organization more diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Our county fire departments are a great example. We launched a robust recruitment campaign in June to increase racial and gender diversity among our firefighters. At the time, the staff were 97% male and 94% white, which is even higher than the national averages. To better balance those numbers, our board invested $3.3 million in grassroots outreach, community recruitment meetings, and for the first time ever, a full salary and benefits for recruits while they attend our 38-week Fire Training Academy. This career in a year approach guaranteed that candidates who successfully completed the academy would have full-time jobs at one of 6 local fire departments. The results of this campaign were incredible. More than 1,000 people applied for 30 positions, and of those hired, 1 in 10 are women, and nearly a third are people of color with diverse racial backgrounds. Our intentional focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion continues with our work to improve broadband access. We've won a state GREAT grant, which combined with a county funding match will pay to build 93 miles of fiber to serve more than 1,300 residents in rural communities. We've also formed a Wake County Broadband Task Force with representatives from each municipality. Together, we are preparing to apply for another grant to help bring internet access to every corner of Wake County.
I'm Commissioner Matt Calabria. Wake County has 18 fire departments in its system, and over the past 5 years, every one of them has improved their ratings. On a 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being the best possible score, all of them rank at a 4 or lower. This rating scale measures whether fire departments have enough trained staff, proper equipment, and effective communication to keep residents safe. Insurance companies use these fire ratings to set their property insurance rates. That means local businesses and residents are saving money thanks to our top-rated fire departments. In March, Wake County launched the new Nurse Navigation Program to help address a dramatic increase in 911 calls for emergency medical services. Instead of dispatching ambulances to callers with non-life-threatening symptoms, we're now routing many of them to licensed nurses for expert advice. This helps residents get the right kind of care, and it connects them with that care more quickly than ever before. On top of that, it frees up our EMS staff to respond. So far, our nurse navigation line has helped connect nearly 1,100 callers to the right health care with satisfaction scores over 90%. In March, the board also voted to boost EMT and paramedic salaries, making Wake County EMS a leader in being able to recruit and retain great folks, something that's especially important in our tight labor market. This attracted a flood of qualified applicants, and in July, we welcomed our largest and most diverse EMS Academy class ever. 60 graduates will walk across the stage in November, reducing our vacancy rate from 20% to single digits, and ensuring that we can provide fast, high-quality care when you need it most.
I'm Commissioner Maria Cervagna, and there's a reason why our economic development team is busier than ever. Major companies like Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies are coming to Wake County in droves because we have the talent, the infrastructure, and the quality of life that businesses need to compete successfully on a global scale. Wake County Economic Development has announced more than 9,000 new jobs and nearly $4 billion in investments since launching its 5-year strategy in 2019. Among the big name companies coming here are Apple and Amgen, Invente Corporation, and Blue Force Technologies, all because we've put Wake County on the map as the leading location in the nation for tech and biotech. These businesses bring with them good paying jobs, and they know they won't have to look far to fill those positions because we have an incredible pool of talent right here in Wake County. Our workforce develops a great education in our public school system and can attend Wake Tech, Shaw, St. Augustine's, William Peace, Meredith, and NC State to hone their knowledge and skills. Both Amgen and Fujifilm Diosynth Biotechnologies are using grant funding to give students unique access to scientific-grade equipment and introduce them to the endless job possibilities that exist in the cutting-edge biotech field. Upon graduation, they're ready to step right into roles at the corporations who call Wake County home.
I'm Commissioner Susan Evans, and our board believes that providing young children with robust early education opportunities is an important step for preparing them for success in school and in life. That's why we're investing significant funding in Wake County Smart Start, North Carolina pre-K classrooms like this one, so children whose families can't afford preschool won't be left behind. This year, we've devoted more than $2 million to Wake 3 School, a new pre-K program for income-eligible 3-year-olds. After a year of curriculum development, teachers in 8 classrooms across the county opened their doors in August to the first class of 3 school students. This pilot year is being funded wholly by Wake County, and 100 children will learn through play in these wonderful new spaces. The outlook is equally bright for our 4-year-olds. In this year's budget, we invested nearly $2.6 million to supplement North Carolina pre-K classrooms for roughly 1,000 income-eligible 4-year-olds in Wake County. Right now, more than 750 of those seats are filled, and enrollment is still ongoing. About 30% of the funds we contributed are going straight to providing equitable pay for North Carolina pre-K teachers, so the Wake County providers can attract and retain the best and most experienced educators in this tough labor market. With up to 2 years of pre-K under their belts, these children will be far better prepared for kindergarten. They'll be both emotionally and academically ready for school and better able to meet educational milestones now and in the future.
I'm Commissioner Vicki Adamson, and I'm proud to stand in front of what will eventually be Primavera Apartments. It's under construction now, but when it's done, it will house 164 low-income seniors in Wake County. This is just one of many projects we funded to help make it easier for residents of Ford to live here. Since 2019, we've invested nearly $45 million to create and preserve more than 2,800 affordable housing units. That's huge for our community, especially in this highly competitive real estate market. But we're not stopping there. In coming days, we'll make a major announcement regarding our Affordable Housing Preservation Fund. It's going to dramatically enhance our ability to maintain and grow our affordable housing stock through public-private partnerships. We're also focused on improving how we support the nearly 53,000 veterans who live in Wake County. To better connect them with housing and other resources, we've moved our Veteran Service Unit to our Housing Department, and we've hired a new division director to build out this team, with the goal of helping military members achieve success after their service ends. We've also formed a Veterans Task Force which generated 15 recommendations to expand assistance for our Wake County veterans. We hope all of you will shine a light, literally, on veterans by participating in Operation Greenlight. We're asking you to swap regular light bulbs for green ones to show your support for veterans from November 7th through the 13th.
I'm Commissioner James West, and I'm excited that the Wake County Health and Human Services Department is changing how it operates to serve the whole client. Under our new Health and Human Services integrated model, families' needs drive services, not the other way around. We have 5 regional centers across the county, including the Eastern Regional Center here in Zebulon, where people can get services like medical care, employment assistance, and vital records all under one roof. By transitioning this new model, we can provide a whole new and better experience for all of our residents. When neighbors walk in, they will be welcome, and staff will help to find the root cause of their concerns by looking at social determinants of health, like housing, transportation, and education. Then we can connect them with wraparound services that are more than just temporary fixes. To do that, we've got to make sure that the right hand is talking to the left. This year, Health and Human Services has signed a data use agreement with all 3 hospital systems to make referrals and health record sharing more secure, efficient, resulting in high quality care. The lasting impact of this transformation will be healthier counties and more families empowered to enjoy a higher quality of life.
So I want to thank Vice Chair Shanika Thomas, Dr. James West, Commissioner Susan Evans, Matt Calabria, Vicki Adamson, and Maria Savagna. Could y'all please stand and be recognized? Let's give it up. These are great leaders running your county here in Wake. Amazing. Thank y'all. Thank you. And now for another story. Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a wealthy young man by the name of Ali Salam. When Ali Salam walked out of his tent in the morning, as far as he could see, he owned everything. He had wealth beyond belief, with camels and silk and wives and children. And one night, a visiting Buddhist monk was under a roaring fire, sharing a meal of goat and wine. And after the meal, the Buddhist monk turned to Ali Salam and said, Ali Salam, to have true wealth, you must have the stones that capture the light of the sun. You must have acres of diamonds beneath your feet. Ali Salam did not sleep well that night. All he thought about was the acres of diamonds beneath his feet. He woke up a poor man. So he sold his land, and with 1 camel and 1 servant, he went off to find the acres of diamonds. To Africa and Europe, finally on the shores of Spain, he died. Poor, broke, alone, and dirty, never finding a single diamond. Well, a wealthy merchant by the name of Aladdin, you might have heard of Aladdin, bought the land of Ali Salam. And he brought his camels down to the stream, and he saw a stone. He picked up the stone because he thought it was pretty. Not thinking much of the stone, he put it on the mantle. Several weeks later, the same Buddhist monk, traveling through after a meal and a roaring fire, the monk noticed the stone. He said, "What is that?" Aladdin said, "Well, it's a stone. It was pretty. I thought my daughter would like it." The monk said, "Oh no, that's not only a stone, that's a diamond." Oh, a diamond. So they raced to the garden. They dug their hands into the soil, and they pulled up diamonds after diamonds after diamonds. And what they realized is they had just discovered the largest diamond mine in the ancient world. And so many times, we search the world looking for the diamonds, when in fact, the true diamonds are truly beneath our feet, just ready to be discovered. This ancient story has never been more true than right here in Wake County. We can travel from Boston to Austin, from Seattle to Sacramento, looking for a better place to live, more pay, a higher quality of life. But the truth is that we need not look any further than Blue Ridge Road, because right outside our very window, right here in Wake County, we'll find the acres of diamonds beneath our feet. This evening, my fellow commissioners have already outlined some of Wake County's most outstanding accomplishments this past year. And we all know how much I truly love talking about Wake County as the greatest county in the greatest state in the country today. But in the brief time that we have together, I want to take this opportunity to paint a picture of our future, a future that we can create together by harvesting the acres beneath our feet. And why is this so important? Well, because average communities react, good communities plan, but the best, the most successful communities and counties both plan and invest for success. Our nation is full of cities and counties whose potential at one time was quite bright. Yet, because of a lack of vision and wisdom and planning and investing, their lights quickly faded as their highways became choked with traffic congestion. Housing prices became unachievable, all while trading open space for asphalt and dirty air. Yet here in Wake County, we have the opportunity to paint a picture of America's first 21st century county. One where we will not only be able to dream and plan and invest, but to also improve the lives of our people and become a beacon of light for the next 50 years and beyond by harvesting the diamonds beneath our feet. And we must be forward-thinking, proactive, because Wake County isn't getting any smaller. We all know our population is growing by more than 60 people a day. 22,000 people a year. So we have to plan and invest to improve our quality of life while continuing to attract the most successful high-tech and life science companies in the country today. We're quickly becoming the life science center of the world, Adrian. And with every one of these new and exciting job announcements, we stand out more and more as the place to be and grow and prosper. RTP is reinventing itself with new zoning to allow housing, quality of life amenities, NC State and Centennial Campus, Perry, are forging new partnerships with technology companies from around the world. And you've heard Adrian earlier this evening talk about our municipal partners working with the economic development team to make it easy for companies to find prime locations where they can grow right here in Wake County. Exciting successes such as Apple, Amgen, Fujifilm, Dias Biotechnologies would have never been possible if we weren't mining our own diamonds every day, creating a globally superior education system. From our internationally recognized four-year universities to the best community college in the country today at Wake Tech, to have you've heard tonight, our award-winning K-12 public education system, all built on the belief that education makes it possible to succeed and thrive and prosper right here in North Carolina. But those acres of education diamonds started long before first grade. We know the best money spent is money investing in early education. So 8 years ago, this commission set a goal of making high-quality pre-K available to every income-eligible four-year-old in Wake County in the nationally recognized program of Smart Start. And for all practical purposes, we have achieved that goal. And as you've heard tonight, that wasn't good enough. So under the leadership of Commissioner Matt Calabria, with the support of his board, and as Commissioner Evans mentioned tonight, of which she was critically involved in that as well, as she said, we put out $2 million to extend free Smart Start pre-K to 3-year-olds through a new pilot program called Wake 3 School. This year, over 100 students are enrolled, but it's only the beginning. Because I believe there'll be a day soon when Wake 3 School will be available to every child who needs it here in Wake County. From cradle to career, our kids in Wake County will be reaching their highest capacity and making their community stronger. And I promise you this, Those diamonds will pay dividends for generations to come. Like Aladdin, another set of our diamonds are in our streams and lakes that Adrian talks about. We are so fortunate to have a clean and abundant water supply because we know that so many other parts of the country, this is a real problem. Right here in Wake County, we're blessed with over 40 inches of rain a year, and it's truly amazing. What you may not know are that scientists are predicting that because of climate change, North Carolina will actually become wetter in the years to come. But we know to be successful, all of that has to be managed. And so our Wake County Environmental Services teams have been working with all of our municipal partners through our Wake County Water Partnership to map out our groundwater, to deal with our stormwater issues, and to develop a comprehensive long-range water plan to address drinking and stormwater for the next 50 years. And I can promise you, as we continue to grow, we're going to need those diamond-encrusted liquid assets to make us strong. And it's Mr. Green Jeans, right? You know, I have to talk about the diamonds of our natural resources. Many of you have heard me say that of temperate climates around the globe, North Carolina has got some of the greatest biodiversity on the planet today. More species of frogs, salamanders, amphibians, freshwater mussels than anywhere else on the planet. Plus an amazing array of trees and grasses and flowers all right here. But to make our natural resources truly shine, we must continue to invest in our parks, in our greenways, in our natural spaces, including the City of Raleigh's park bond this fall. We've done so much together for the past 20 years. We protected over 8,700 acres of permanently protected open space, but there's so much more that we need to be doing. So we're opening 7,400 acres of new nature preserves, more than 10 square miles in Buffalo Creek, Little River, Swift Creek preserves that will be joining existing preserves that you already know and love, of Turnip Seed, Robertson Mill Pond, and Sandy Pines. And they'll be joining the 8 existing county parks, plus the new park, Beach Bluff County Park, that will be coming out of the ground in the southeast Wake County that includes a canopy walk through the trees. 300 acres of gorgeous parkland. These new preserves are located in protected watersheds, creating more than 60 miles of new trails for hiking, biking, boating, horseback riding, and enjoying this amazing ecosystem. Now, what you may not realize is that you can also witness some of the most amazing birds on the planet today. Birds like the indigo bunting, the prothonotary warbler, or what you might have recently heard about at Dix Park, the painted bunting. Isn't that an amazing bird? Absolutely stunning. So, and we obviously need to polish up a few of our emeralds with our emerald necklaces of our amazing and growing greenway system, now spanning over 300 miles throughout the county. Current new greenways slated for construction include Crabtree Creek Greenway to Umstead State Park, Mingo Creek to Nightdale Station, Middle Creek to Apex and Holly Springs, and Swift Creek connecting Garner and White Deer Park, following the land between Lake Wheeler and Lake Benson and reaching out to Cary and their amazing greenway system. But by far, the most transformational project coming our way is going to be the Triangle Bikeway that will be running from the Art Museum right over here, just to along I-40 to Research Triangle Park in phase 1, and then ultimately to Durham and Chapel Hill later in phase 2. 16 feet wide, this transportation and recreation corridor will transform the Triangle, setting us apart from the rest of the technology centers from around the world to be the place to live and locate and work right here in Wake County. The coolness of this project is just dripping off of it, and I can't wait for the design to start early next year. So, booming economy? Check. Phenomenal educational system? Check. Beautiful natural resources and abundant water? Check, check, Check. So what else do we need to create a 21st century community where residents can thrive? How about vibrant communities? And vibrant communities start with placemaking. And placemaking starts with land use. Or to better put it, intentionally designing communities from the ground up so all of our residents are happy, healthy, striving, and prosperous, which is exactly what we've been doing for the past 5 years here in Wake County, and creating a long-range, comprehensive land use plan by the name of, what else? Plan Wake, right? Plan Wake provides a framework for how communities can thrive by focusing vibrancy and density towards urban centers. Right, Smedes? There you go. Love Smedes. Just think of your favorite cities. They're full of energy and vibrancy, destinations with amazing public spaces, vibrant retail options and restaurants, and green natural spaces. You just feel good being there. And everything that you want to live and work and play is in 15 minutes. What Mitch Silver calls a 15-minute city. Truly a beautiful thing to uphold. But the bonus is, by focusing density towards urban centers, Plan Wake also protects open space and green infrastructure for more recreational opportunities while preserving our agricultural heritage in our farmland. Because we know we're going to double in size in the next 40 years. And we need to be planning now so that we can grow not only bigger, but also better. But that also includes more transportation options, because land use and transportation go together like peanut butter and jelly. Think back to those favorite cities of yours that I mentioned. They're walkable and very easy to move around. You know, this auto-centric transportation system we've been using for the last 6 years, it worked for a while, but it's not working anymore. Can you spell congestion? And we can't build our way out of this problem. More highways, more lanes just leads to more congestion, all while eating up more open space. So, as we spend more time on that road, it also keeps us away from our family and fun and takes a lot more money out of our pocket. But we're doing something about it. We're investing in it. As a result of the half-cent sales tax that you passed for transit in 2016, we've been expanding our bus system now to all 12 municipalities, many with 15-minute frequencies, and new electric buses with better bus stops and safety and comfort. And we're breaking new ground next year, Dr. West, on the bus rapid transit corridor down New Bern Avenue from Wake Med to the downtown transit hub. And soon we'll be adding bus rapid transit, or BRT, on Western Boulevard to Cary, Wilmington Street to Garner, Capitol Boulevard to Triangle Town Center. We'll be adding over 20 miles of BRT where buses can go faster, more reliably, and definitely more enjoyably. But also, we're finishing up final plans on our commuter rail, and you can read the latest at our website, Ready for Rail. Now, the plans right now are calling to run along existing rail lines from Garner to Durham, east-west, which will include stops to RTP and a spur to the airport. But there's also something that you might not have heard so much about, and that's a north-south line. Vivian, right? Yes, yes. North-south line knows of the S line, which can run from Wake Forest to Raleigh to Cary and then Apex and then ultimately down to Sanford. It's all starting to come together, and it's all very exciting. But we have to talk about affordable housing. We know for you and the people of Wake County, affordable housing is a high priority, including Commissioner Adamson. I'm also proud to say that it is a huge priority for this board. Some of those initiatives you've heard about tonight from Commissioner Adamson. But as we think about housing affordability, we must all remember two things. The two most expensive items in an individual or family's household budget: transportation and housing. So, many times we find ourselves driving farther for cheaper rent, which means more gas and more repairs, which is not cheap. So let's face it, cars are expensive, and if a family could get away with just one car, or maybe none, then they would tend to live happier, healthier lives with more money in their pocket, spending on things that they feel are important. So there is a better way. And what if we started focusing affordable housing along transit lines? This 20 miles of new bus rapid transit will have lots of land available and lots of new stations where we can build housing, affordable housing, right next to rail corridors. And the Commuter Rail corridor is in industrial settings. By connecting housing to those corridors, it actually connects you to 8 of the 10 major job centers right here in the Triangle. Imagine a short transit ride to work, play, school, the grocery store, the doctor, everything that you need. Once again, healthier, happier families where people are thriving. But to think about this, to accomplish this, we must connect both housing and transportation, which leads us back to land use in our glorious municipalities. Friends, we love our towns and cities, all 12 of them in Wake County. They're all unique with all personalities of their own, and I love them all. But municipalities in so many ways are the lifeblood of our county. They're where people feel community. It's where there's amazing levels of creativity and innovation. But for long-term success, we need to continue to invest in our towns and cities. And what would that look like? Well, it may be a park, or a greenway, or a performing arts center, a sports venue, a senior center. The ideas are out there, and all we need to do is to scratch the surface for the diamonds beneath our feet. The bottom line is that there's so many great things happening here in Wake County, and we are so blessed to have so many residents such as yourself who support our community, including our school bond this fall, Wake Tech bond, and our City of Raleigh Parks bond. And once again, they'll be on our ballot starting on November 20th for early voting. But as we continue to grow, we need to continue to invest in affordable housing, to create more units of all sizes and types where every family can have the opportunity to thrive, to invest in transit, to avoid gridlock and congestion, helping people to move through their communities with ease and affordability, and finally, to invest in our municipalities so they can uniquely improve our lives and the lives of our residents as they define it. Affordable housing, transportation, transit, municipalities, the trifecta of investing success. And as good as we are today, we're going to need to do more. This idea we call Vision Wake, recognizing once again, average communities react. Good communities plan, but great communities both plan and invest. But the best part about these investments is that we already know the returns will be immeasurable for our communities and the people who live there. Unlike Aladdin, who bought his land for himself and his family and had no idea the diamonds beneath his feet, we already know the riches that are out there. And all we need to do is just allow those visions to be realized. Naturally, it starts with leadership. Includes some of the leaders, great leaders that you've heard today. But it also includes our elected leaders in our municipalities, those great leaders, and of course, our great leaders from our county commission. But then it moves to painting pictures. Dale Carnegie's protege, Frank Betcher, once said that if you paint a picture of what someone wants, they'll move heaven and earth to get it. Paint a picture of what someone wants, and they'll move heaven and earth to get it. So, to demonstrate this, Aladdin took his lamp, right? Wouldn't you? But he left a pan. And he says that the pan has some magic in it. Now, according to Aladdin, you need several things for the magic to happen. He says, first, you need good, rich soil of leadership and creative ideas. So let's put some soil in there. And then you need a few cents. So let's grab some cents here. Just a few cents. And then let's put on Aladdin's top. And then let's see what happens. Oh! The acres of diamonds beneath our feet, just waiting to be discovered, just waiting for those pictures to be painted. Together, Vision Wake for all of us. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So, thank you. I'm going to ask our leaders to come out. We've got just a couple of questions. We're going to give you the opportunity to hear from these great leaders in terms of what we heard tonight and where they see our future is here in Wake County. So, Adrian, they're going to move this out. Scott, Catty, join me up here. Can we get some lights on, or is this the best we got? Okay, so many of you have been hearing us to start with referring to our superintendent as Catty Moore, and I'd like, Superintendent, for you to tell that story if you would.
This is so critical. My birth certificate, I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador, in South America, and my birth certificate, my name is Catty Maria Fatima Quiroz Zambrano, C-A-T-T-Y. Became an American citizen when I was 10 years old. Got my passport shortly after that. My passports have always been spelled Catty. Applied for a Social Security card when I was 14, and they sent it back as Cathy.
Uh-oh.
And you know, my whole work history is Cathy. My passport has always been Cathy. And it took the NC Real ID to make me make a choice. And I had to choose what was on my birth certificate, because apparently your Social Security card is not a officially recognized form of ID. It's permission to work. So.
I love Catty. Y'all? Yeah, I love Catty.
So,
yeah, give it up for Catty.
And so it's, Cathy in English, Cathy in Spanish. I'll answer to many things.
There we are. Yes, ma'am. Also, Adrian Cole, you may not know this, and I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but she's a quite accomplished singer, and she actually sang in a bluegrass band in college, and I hope you're going to sing a song for us, right?
I don't know about that.
All right. The question I want to get started, and we really just want to have a conversation here. I want to leave it very open, but you've heard a lot tonight, both in terms of what you said, but what other people said. What opportunities do y'all see for the future of us here in Wake County and the region? Scott?
I think one of our greatest opportunities is to be as strong a ladder as we are a magnet. And that we can do. To be where we are now is pretty remarkable. You go back to the 1950s, and, the only people who wanted to go to Raleigh was Barney on the Andy Griffith Show. Came here to party, but now we have people moving from California who want to work in life sciences here in Wake County. And I think what we should do is to be as deliberate about creating the ladders as we have been about being the magnet. And that means, the opportunity that we would say that, look at all those kids from Roseville who are going into life science, or look at all those kids from Garner going into gaming and IT, we can create those. I think Wake Tech, we have a specific obligation, that is our role, but I think all of us being deliberate about that is something we all need to do, and I think that's our greatest opportunity and perhaps also one of our biggest challenges.
A couple of terms that were used earlier today. Scott talked about connectedness, and we talked about collaboration. We are all connected, and I think we have to be very intentional about who we engage in our discussions, in our planning, in the opportunities to plan for the future and do that work. I can think up all kinds of things by myself, but whatever is in my head will never be as good as the 10 or 20 people that I surround myself with when we work together. So making sure that we ask ourselves the question, who needs to be at this table? Who needs to be a part of this discussion? Who's not at this table? Who will this impact, and how will it impact different parts of our community, to make sure that we are inclusive in our planning and that we are broad in our collaboration. And I think those are the things that connect us, that several of us talked about earlier today. And I think that that's something, as you go back and you plan, as you go back and you engage in different community activities, understanding who's here, who's not here, who should be here, how can I be a part of connecting more to this work, to make sure that we keep Wake County a great place to live, work, and play.
Couldn't agree more. I would say, widely shared opportunity needs to be front and center, and that's what we're talking about here. Really embracing the growth trajectory that we're on. It's not going to change, and it's a good challenge and opportunity to have. And so making the right investments in infrastructure, that's transportation, transit. It's also water, wastewater, how we manage water, which is what Sig was talking about, doing that in a unified way. It's energy. Marty was here. The lights are so bright, I can't see if he still is or not. It's those things too. It's making sure that we're paying attention to that. It's open space. It's housing. It's affordability. It's thinking about all of the things, but in a not just in a 10-year window, but thinking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, how does this place continue to be the special place that it is? And keeping that collaborative spirit, which we're talking about too, which is having the right people at the table, looking around to find out who is not ever allowing ourselves to fall into a scarcity mindset. It's not pie. Widely shared opportunities are, we should be not operating in a scarcity mindset, and protecting that collaboration, continuing to keep people at the table, and also operating. I've been thinking a lot lately about, Wake County in this region is a real model of how to work together, and it's not the case across the country. We were hosting another group from the West Coast this week in the market, and they were saying, we're here in the neighboring city, literally right next door. We can't stand each other, and we never work together. And I thought, I can't imagine it being like that here. So, but we can't take that for granted. It takes a lot of intentionality, and I'm so thankful to work with leaders who want to have that kind of partnership in this market, and to lose it would be to our detriment.
Adrian, I think you said that so well. You talk about opportunities, and Catty, you talked about inclusiveness, and Scott, you talked about ladders. And one of the things that I think is our real strength is just our partners and our partnership. Adrian, you kind of alluded to that in terms of how we get along, and that's such a great story when companies come here and we say we all have each other's cell phones, we all get along very well, we all work together so well. But I want to just kind of push that out there, because I think that's something that we really do well. Adrian, Michael Haley out here, his whole life is about partnerships, right? And Scott, I already alluded to all the partnerships that you create, and Cathy, your life is creating partnerships. So talk a little bit about the partners and the partnerships that we all do and how successful that is for us.
I'm happy to speak to it, and then hand it over to my friends here. But so we have structures that support that partnership, codified partnerships and agreements. They alluded to some today between Wake Tech and Wake County Public Schools. We have it with Wake County and Economic Development with the City of Raleigh. So there's structures that support that. But then we also meet on a regular basis in a very regular cadence to understand what each other is working on. It's an opportunity to share information, to understand where can we support one another. So at the end of the day, we've invested the time to really know one another, and we value those partnerships. And I think all of us take an approach of we're better off together, and it really is a team sport. And also we want to not only deal with whatever we're dealing with today, but we want to be able to work together effectively going forward too. Sort of that live to fight another day. I also think that we have an opportunity to be a model in Wake County. And I know it's not perfect, and I'm not trying to be Pollyanna about this, but I do think that we have an opportunity to be a model of civility. How do we want to come together to solve our challenges? And how can we be kind and civil, even if we don't agree, to move things forward? And I think that we have a unique opportunity in this region to be, and in this county, to be a model for civility, because my goodness, it has to be not expected but demanded.
I think one of our secrets is that our partnerships really are authentic. They're not something we just put in and present to companies or people considering this place. They really are authentic. And I don't think it's because just the people who are in those roles. I think that's the way we were conditioned to be. It's an expectation, and it's an expectation of putting the mission first and not the people, or in some cases, the institution. Earlier tonight, I was talking about one of my favorite partners who's not here with us tonight, but is Randy Woodson from NC State, and who's just been and is the kind of leader who, could just be one of the most egotistical people around because he's accomplished so much, but he's just the opposite. He's so humble, and I think there's a humility about accomplishment here that also conditions the people who go into leadership not to put yourself first, but to put the mission of what it happens. And when people do that, and they kind of, great things happen not because of individual efforts, but because of team efforts. And I do think it sounds Pollyannish when we talk about it, but it truly is authentic. And I don't think it's just because of the people who are in leadership now. I think it's because of the people, you can see out in the audience tonight, like Smedes and others who, conditioned this place to be a place of authentic leadership based on humility in some ways.
I would go back to sort of the history of this community, and I'm going to speak specifically to schools, with the historic merger of the Wake County school system and the Raleigh City school system years ago, where the folks who were a part of that work knew that it wasn't just about the time in history, but it was the time in history and the future, and what we were going to need to be facing and who we wanted to be when we move forward into the future, that required a level of collaboration and commitment to join the city and the county school system, understanding that the partnerships that we enjoy and that we must invest in start from the families that are attending our schools to the businesses in the communities who also are, their kids are attending our schools, and the quality of life in this region. The public school system is a critical bedrock foundation of that. And to have a school system that had leaders in the community, that had the vision to do and make a very difficult decision that they knew was right for the future of this community, resonates today. And I think we're in a place now where we, again, must recommit ourselves to the importance of a strong public school system and the partnerships that we develop now intentionally, whether it's with the community colleges or our four-year colleges or Wake Education Partnership, who has so many of our business community members who are part of that work, the county commissioners, our municipalities. There's partnership happening at all of those levels. And that is investment of time and energy. And when we don't agree, we need to at least understand. And I think that's something that we work really hard to do as well.
I think that's such great answers. I just love that. All right, one last question, then we're going to wrap up and move on out of here. But we're talking about painting the picture of the future, and you all have done such an amazing job putting that together. But let's really focus down, and if we could kind of say like one concrete thing that we need to be doing or focusing on or thinking about, what would be that one thing we need to take into consideration moving into the future? Everybody wants Scott to go first.
My friend here keeps saying, go Scott.
Go Scott.
I'll give you a concrete goal, and this is a little maybe Wake Tech centric, but it's not in this because the Wake County Commissioners, Matt Calabria, others were the catalyst for this, is what we've been able to do with apprenticeship, and what that also is so meaningful particularly for individuals who need to work and learn at the same time. And when they can work in the field where they're learning, it is so important. So thanks to the commissioners and thanks to the employers of Wake County, since the time before COVID, and this all happened during COVID, at Wake Tech, we've been able to increase fourfold the number of employers working with us who are registered apprentice employers hiring our students as apprentices while they're going to Wake Tech. So I think a goal for us, is to do that again. Could we in 5 years increase fourfold such that there would be 500 employers from Wake County with registered apprenticeships working with Wake Tech? That's a tougher one, but I think it could be done. I haven't said that before, so Gail's here, and she's probably going to go back tomorrow, and people are going to be, but I think it could be done with all of us working together.
A lot of our work in schools is, we're funded by a number of different entities. We have our local county commissioners that provide our local budget, the state that provides has the primary responsibility for people in our schools, and then there are federal dollars and grant dollars and other things that come into play as well. And I think really paying attention to, we have a long-running legal case called Leandro that really has focused on the entire state of North Carolina and the understanding that in order to support an adequate education for all of our public school students, that there are significant investments that need to be made in the educational system. And Wake County is a part of that. So while we were not the focus of the suit, we are a part of the entire state that will benefit from actually funding Leandro. And so I think that that's something that is already tangible, that has been researched, that there's evidence around, has been litigated quite a bit, and it's time to move towards fully funding that plan. I think that is something that we as a community can advocate for.
Scott said, Adrian. I think I've already touched on it really. But I'll sum it up in this way. Remembering that it isn't an either-or proposition, we have to be doing all the things. In a community that's growing as rapidly as ours is, and with so much potential on the horizon, you have to be paying attention to housing affordability. You have to be paying attention to transit and transportation, infrastructure, open space, education, shared opportunity across the entire county. And I know that that's a big lift, but we really have to guard against it's only this and not those things. It's both and that's going to be important for our future. For me personally at the Chamber, it's continuing to stay focused on corporate engagement, corporate social responsibility, and the companies in our market who are so phenomenal, working very closely with education partners, with our elected leaders, with our nonprofit sector, in sort of a shared vision to move forward.
That's awesome, Adrian. Aren't these amazing leaders? All right. So there's so many wonderful nuggets of acres of diamonds here that have been shared tonight. Our community is so blessed to have such amazing leaders, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show about something about this building. Valerie Hillings is one of those amazing leaders, and she's responsible for the reinventing of what we're seeing with the People's Collection. But the building itself was a result of the genius of Larry Wheeler. And the Architecture Digest, Architecture Magazine, I don't want to specifically say, but I know it was one of those or something like that, identified the top 100 buildings on the planet today, of which this was one of them. And I know what you're saying, this, right? But when you say this, that's what makes it so unique. And the genius of Larry Wheeler is that if you look up, you'll see natural lighting. And if you look to the side, you'll see windows. And if you look at the walls, you'll see they're white. And because what Larry Wheeler's genius was to make the building disappear. So all you saw was art and nature. It's brilliant. Come back here during the day and see the Rodins in the light or out in the terrace area. And you'll truly, with that knowledge, you'll understand why this is such a significant building. And don't miss the park, of course. Thank you for being here. I want to thank our amazing leaders and speakers. I want to thank my fellow commissioners. I want to thank Wake County staff for all you do. I want to thank your communications team. I want to thank y'all as Wake County leaders who are truly making us not only as great today, but painting a picture of the future. You're also going to make us great tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again for being here.